All right, this is 4.4. We're calling it special factoring, but we're actually only going to focus on GCF, which stands for greatest common factor. We're going to do the difference of two squares later. Okay, so GCF, like I said, greatest common factor. So that means we need to look at the largest factor that can be taken out of both of these terms. So the first thing we need to do is decide what factors we have. So a 9 is really a 3 times 3, and an x squared is really x times x minus 3x. So remember, greatest common factor, what they both have in common. So for this one, they have a 3 and an x in common. So we want to take that, we want to bring that to the front. So if it's highlighted, it's going to disappear inside the parentheses. So what's left on the inside is a 3x minus, now this isn't gone completely because it's really taken times an invisible 1. So that's 3x minus 1. Okay, so let's look at this next one. Remember, we have to decide what the factors are. So see how this one doesn't have a number? That means we can't factor a number out of it. So I'm not even going to break down the 30 and the 6 because the middle term only has an invisible 1 right here. What I can look at are the variables. So we have a 30 m p times p plus a 1 m times p minus 6p. So we want to find what they have in common. Well, they each have a p. And that is the only thing that they all have in common. So the p comes to the outside. We're left inside the parentheses with the first term of 30m. There's another p left there. Plus, this one still has 2m, so m times m is m squared. And in the last term, minus 6 is what's left. Okay, so this one does have numbers in all three terms. So we're going to go ahead and break it down completely. So this is 4a times b. 28. What are the numbers that multiplied together equal 28? How about 7 times 4? A, b times b plus 7ab. Do each of the terms have a 4? No. Do each of the terms have a 7? No. Do each of the terms have an A? Yes. Do each of the terms have a B? Yes. So the only thing that we can factor out is an AB. So that leaves in the first term 4A. 7 times 4 is 28. We didn't factor anything out of that number, but there's also a B left over, plus 7. Okay. On this last one, 6 is 2 times 3y. 12 is 3 times 4. And we'll go ahead and leave it as that for now. We may need to break that down farther, but we'll see. And 8 is 2 times 4, z. So do we have the same number in all three of these? So we do need to break this 4 down a little bit farther. So 4 is also 2 times 2, because if we do that, there's a 2 that can be taken out of all of them. There's nothing else that can be taken out of everything. There's a 3 left in the first one. There's a 3 left in the second term, but there is not a 3 in the third term. And there's this 4. I mean, you could write it as 2 times 2, but you don't have another 2 to take out, so there's really no need to do that. So we can write down what's left. We took out a 2, so let's write that down. The first term, we have 3y remaining. In the second term, we have a 3 times a 2, which is a 6x, minus we have a 4z. Okay, so like I said, this part we'll do next time, so don't worry about that. If you have questions, go ahead. We're not going to worry about this part either. We're actually moving that to the next unit. On the practice, you are going to do these first few, and don't worry about that one. And like I said, we'll work on the practice in class tomorrow. And you don't have to worry about these for right now either. Don't mark through them. We'll come back and do those later. And you don't have to worry about the solving. So wow, that really cut down on a lot of your practice that you had. You can do all of the review problems, however.